Hi, welcome to Focus Forward. This is Tom Corley, your host. I am the author of Rich Habits, the best-selling financial self-help book, and I am pleased to have with us today Jamie Wheeler. He's the CEO and founder of Gratify. After spending 10 years with Bristol-Myers Squibb with executive-level experience in sales leadership, strategy, and operations, he left the industry to pursue his first passion, education. Thus began Gratify. Wheeler has his MBA in finance and strategic management from Case Western Reserve University. Jamie, I want to welcome you to the show today. Thanks for being on.
Thanks, Tom. That was a very nice introduction. I appreciate it.
Well, we're honored to have you on. You have a good website, gratify.com, a good purpose to what you're doing. Why don't you share with us that purpose?
Sure. So basically, Gratify is a college gift registry site that allows friends and family to gift money towards a child's college savings during life celebrations, whether it be an expecting mother that's going to have a baby shower, or a 13-year-old celebrating his or her bar mitzvah, or an 8-year-old celebrating his or her birthday. Gratify is essentially an event-driven website that allows both the parents and children to start saving for college.
Jamie, just walk us through a typical user experience. How does somebody get started with gratify.com?
Sure. So the key catalyst in regards to Gratify is having that parent sign up at the site. So by going to gratify.com, it's a pretty easy three-step process where the first step is simply providing the name, email address, and password. Once that parent's done that, then they have the opportunity to add beneficiaries to the site. So beneficiaries being most likely their children, but in my case, I may do it for my niece or nephew. You can create a portfolio with a picture and a story about that child. And then a third step would be to actually create an event. And obviously, you would have an event in mind, whether it be a baby shower, a birthday, and you create that event. And it's a lot like Evite, where you create the event and then you send that out to your friends and family, and they'll get a notification via email that they've been invited to this event, and then they will have the opportunity to then gift money to the child's college savings. Or there's also a wish list feature embedded in Gratify that would allow the beneficiary to also receive a few items that would fall under the category of immediate gratification.
I guess for those who, to relate this to what people would understand, if you had a wedding registry, if you've ever had to go on a website and register for a wedding registry, you go on, you know how that works. I think a lot of us are familiar with that. So it sounds a lot like that, except this is a different model. This is about college savings, right?
Exactly. It's funny you bring that up, because I originally had the idea of Gratify about 6 years ago, and it was during the time that my wife, who's also named Jamie, by the way, so I'm not talking in the third person, Jamie and I were getting married, and it had occurred to me that the idea of people gifting money collectively towards a greater good or something bigger would be very interesting. But the idea quickly transitioned to money gifting towards college savings for college. So yes, very similar in regards to the flow and procedure, but the end result is money, instead of going towards items that from a wedding registry, this would go towards a child's college savings.
So, Gratify, how did you come up with the name Gratify?
That's actually a funny story, because when I left Bristol-Myers Squibb, I had come up with the name Bay Bank, and I was excited. I actually designed the logo and had everything going. And like a good entrepreneur, I went out and did research on the name with my potential users, and I found that the name wasn't scalable, that people felt that it was just that it would be just for babies. And so And then the other issue is that children, once they understood the name baby bank, would quickly distance themselves from the name baby. And so as a result, it was probably a 5 days worth of not sleeping and brainstorming. And it was one morning at 5 a.m., I was typing my business plan, and the name Gratify popped into my head. And of course, like any good URL name, it was already taken. But I found out who had owned the name, and fortunate enough, that person wasn't doing anything with that site name and was willing to sell it to me. So I was able to get Gratify within a 2-day period of time once I came up with the name, and I'm pretty excited about it. It seems like people really like the name. So,
Jamie, how does it actually work? I go online, I register, I sign up, and now I've got a wish list, and maybe the wish list is cash. And so now I've got and I guess that's going to be a big part of it too, right? People are going to contribute cash and as well as other items, but so they put money where? How did the money get funded?
sure. So at this point, I'm using PayPal as the mover of funds. Gratify does not collect any percentage of these funds. Essentially, the gift giver either uses a credit card or their PayPal account to move money to the recipient's PayPal account. And so that makes the cleanest way of moving funds. And as a result, Gratify doesn't profit from the transactions. And if the gift giver uses a bank account linked to their PayPal, no transaction fee will occur. Now, if the gift giver uses a credit card, then there is a 2.9% fee that's charged from the credit card and PayPal's perspective. And so that's how it works in terms of moving money. And if I may clarify, so the wish list, think of like the wish list as the recipient's chance to ask for up to 3 items that they want. So if it's an expecting mom and she really wants that bugaboo stroller, a changing table, and a crib during this baby shower, she would upload those items onto her wish list. And so when she sends out the invitation to her friends and family will actually see that wish list along with the story that the person that wants these items, she can tell about why she wants these things. And so it's then up to the gift giver to decide what percent goes towards one of those items on the wish list and what percent goes towards the college savings component.
Well, that's interesting because, if I'm a large retailer and Gratify has a large swath of customers and people that are registered, there's a lot of value there if I'm a Target or a Walmart. I mean, just explain how there might be a value proposition there.
Definitely, and in fact, it's my hope at some point to partner with the right kind of retailers that share in my vision of really helping kids save smartly and shop smartly. And so companies like Target that may have wish lists down the road that could be uploaded to Gratify, that would be something that would be a dream of mine, because I think, like, for example, Target does share in the same kind of values that Gratify does. And then there's just other companies out there as well that I'm looking to target that would allow my users to have that shopping experience on that company website, and then eventually upload those items onto Gratify's wish list. And so, Tom, you essentially are reading my mind. I'm hoping that a year from now, when we reconnect, perhaps I'll be able to tell you that there's been a couple of retailers that joined my crusade in terms of helping kids save for school.
Well, Jamie, I'm a financial advisor, I'm a CPA, and I do deal a lot with business clients and startups and business plans. And one of the things I always look for is a business model that has this centipede element, where it's got a lot of legs. There's a lot of possibilities and opportunities. I'm just thinking, as a financial advisor, I would like to hook up with Gratify.com. If I'm just a Joe Schmo CFP or CPA, or if I'm a big mutual fund or a big insurance company. It seems to me Now, you've got a business model here that could have a lot of different partners. Have you thought about how you can integrate? You know, you've got this money going into an account. Somebody's got to manage it.
Exactly. Again, Tom, you're right on with this idea. And so ultimately, it's my goal to partner with the right kinds of financial institutions and financial planners, because at the end of the day, Gratify is not going to invest the money for these people. In fact, I would rather have a professional that's an expert in that area help my users create a strategy for their investment dollars. And so ultimately, whether it's a financial institution or financial planners that would like to partner with me, I'm looking for people that are passionate about this concept to join my efforts. And speaking of that concept, Gratify was designed so that even at this point, there's nothing preventing a financial planner that's very savvy to call on their Rolodex of clients and say, hey, for your child's next birthday, why not use Gratify to help kickstart their college savings? And once the event's over, we'll take that money and we'll invest it either in a 529 plan or a Coverdale or other opportunities for investment. And so really, it's ready to go in that regard. And there's nothing preventing a good financial planner from making that happen.
Yeah, I think the other advantage here is because you're talking about events in a child's life, first birthday, first Holy Communion, Bar Mitzvah. These are all opportunities, multiple opportunities for the parents and the kids to be having a dialogue about their college. So if Gratify.com is being used, it's almost forcing the conversation to happen whenever these life events occur. Is this something that was in the back of your mind too?
Absolutely, and it really actually plays well with what your message is in your book, which is creating good habits. And essentially, Gratify allows parents, number one, to start having conversations between themselves. So the mom talking with the dad, dad talking with the mom, but then just as important, having those parents talking with the children and the children talking to the parents about what can we do to start saving for school, because time flies. And so creating good habits and using Gratify as that tool, whether it be that first communion, that birthday, that Christmas. And the great thing about Gratify is it doesn't eliminate the idea of getting gifts for these events, but rather it creates that better habit of asking and receiving fewer items, and the difference of the money going towards college savings instead. So I can't tell you how many friends and family that have told me over the years that they got too much stuff for a baby shower that they didn't even know what to do with it, and they had wished that Gratify had been around when they had their event, because it would have created that polite way to tell friends and family that, you know, we only really want a few items, but if you do want to give a gift, we would really appreciate money towards our college savings account.
Yeah, and I think I'm glad you brought up about the good habits, because one of the things that is critical to teaching kids about money is teaching them how to save. And you are actually teaching one of the principles that the wealthy people teach their kids. So this is a rich habit. This is something that's really, I want to make a point of this because I really think you're onto something here. Every time there's an event, these parents are teaching their kids a lesson about saving. Is that right?
Exactly. And it's saying to the child, hey, instead of getting all those toys, why not just get just a few of the toys that you really want, and then the difference we can have go into your college savings, and that money will grow with you over time. And so you can then teach your kids about the idea of how money can grow and work for you when you allow time and investment to do its work.
Jamie, how do you get the word out to get people to sign up for Gratify? What are you doing currently to promote, other than stuff like this, but you've got to be doing other things because this is an important idea that should be getting out there. What are you currently doing?
So obviously I'm talking with the network of my friends and family. And then I think the best way for this to really take hold is for other people to start telling their friends and family. And so to me, the organic way of doing it is always nice. And then from a company perspective, I'm obviously trying to perfect my search engine optimization, or SEO. So not to get too technical, but that's something that is on my to-do list constantly to try to improve the SEO. But what's interesting about that is the best way to really help that is to feed my site with good information and relevant stories that are happening today, which there's no shortage of. You open up a USA Today or Yahoo or CNN at any given day, and you're reading about something about school loans. In fact, we just the news was that the school loan interest rate just doubled a couple weeks ago, and so unless Congress does something about that'll be an issue. So for me, it's about spreading the word with SEO. It's about having my users use the site and then tell their friends and family.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it seems to me that there's so many partner opportunities with Gratify, and, you know, it's a matter of just getting the word out to the right partners. Certified financial planners, because I'm one, and I'm thinking, my gosh, if I'm a certified financial planner, I want to be Jamie's go-to person, right? So how are you vetting them out? I mean, what's your thinking behind which partners you select and which ones you're, you know, I mean, I'm just curious how you're going about that, because that could be an arduous process.
Absolutely. So the early stage right now and so I'm like a Steve Blank fan in terms of building a company, and that really stresses the MVP, or minimum viable product. And so right now I'm looking for as many financial planners to try this site and have that ability to use it free of charge. Ultimately, once the site becomes more evolved over time, where there'll be opportunities that Gratify will be able to offer up for preferred financial planners, that would probably be the opportunity at that point to make sure that Gratify is linking with the right people to move forward. And so you're absolutely right, though, Tom. It is a major process, but I think what's going to happen is that the people that gravitate to Gratify, whether it be a financial planner or a parent or a child, are really going to have that same passion. And so I'm really actually excited about not only the people that I have met, but the people that I will be meeting down the road.
You know, and another thing that is going through my mind as we're talking is, you know, there's so many babies that are born in hospitals. Boy, it would be a perfect opportunity to get them started right away, saving for college right at that hospital. You know, that's a perfect entry point for Gratify.com. I don't know if you thought about that, but it's going through my mind.
Well, it's funny. I'm laughing because I could draw on my days in the pharmaceutical industry, where the pharmaceutical industry no longer could really, you know, provide the notepads and pens and some of the signage in the offices any longer. And so I kind of laugh because it's my thought that perhaps you'll see a Gratify pen or notepad at a doctor's office, try to get the parents at the very early age or even before they're born, have their parents know about Gratify. So I absolutely agree with what you're saying. You should be my marketing director.
Well, there's a lot of value to this proposition. You know, this is the three things that people struggle with are their mortgage, their retirement, and college funding. And what's going on right now, Jamie, you know this better than I do because this is in your wheelhouse, is that these kids are graduating on average with about $25,000 to $26,000 in student loans. And in many cases, it's $100,000 and $150,000. The parents can't afford, 95% of the population just can't afford college. College costs are going up by 7%. I mean, this is something that's on everybody's mind. and we've got to get the word out on it, and Gratify is doing that. And what are you doing to try and coordinate with all of these, like the 529 plans? This is really something that they would make good partners with you. And it's interesting because I noticed that you launched your company on May 29th of this year. Is that because of the 529 plan? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, and I got to give credit to the other Jamie for that idea. So when I had left Bristol-Myers Squibb, my goal was to get Gratify launched by June, and we were getting close to the date, and we were about finalized. And the other Jamie, Jamie 1, as I refer to her, she came up with the idea of why not launching on 529 so that years into the future, Gratify can celebrate its launch birthday on May 29th and 529. And so she's, brilliant. And so that's what we went with. And we're excited about that. And by the way, speaking of retirement, when I started doing research a few months ago on this industry and what's going on and how Americans save, the number one way Americans are saving for school, according to a study in 2010 by Gallup and Sally May, is retirement. 24% of dollars being saved right now for college are actually coming from somebody's retirement account. And when we're talking about 529 plans, right now that's only the fourth most popular way of saving for college, where approximately 12% of dollars being saved for college are coming from 529s. And so you're absolutely right, where we need to do something to create a paradigm shift on how Americans are saving for college.
Well, then it seems to me that you've got a good message here. The message is, hey, at Gratify.com, you're not only going to save for college, but you're going to preserve your retirement. Because we're going to provide all these tools and all these tips, and what kind of information is going to be on the site that will help? I mean, besides just signing up and registering in the wish list, what other things on the website? Give the audience a little bit of, paint the picture for us of what Gratify.com looks like.
Sure. So my goal is to make the site as easy to navigate and use as possible. And so when you're going to this site, create an event, it's a pretty straightforward process of signing up. But once you've signed up for the site, you then have access to other tools like the cost calculator, which at this point is a link over to the collegesavings.org site, which is an excellent resource, by the way, to help kids save for school. In addition, I have a link for savingforcollege.com, which is an excellent resource to help parents not only investigate 529 plans and learn about 529 plans, but also to actually open up a 529 plan. And I'm also looking to add additional resources as I go along. I'm actually friends with a couple of friends that have started a company called Tuition.io here in Santa Monica that basically help people that have already gone to school and have those school loans still pending to consolidate them and make payments on their school loans. So I'm constantly looking for ways to make this site a resource to help my users basically become more educated on the process.
Yeah, I'm thinking in my head here as you're talking about all of these opportunities for all these different partnerships and the colleges out there. There's so many colleges. I could just see these colleges, on your website rolling across. I could see all of the scholarship sites, and I could see so much information tied together like one big community. I mean, what's your vision of Gratify? Is that where you're going with this?
I think so. I mean, for me, the excitement of Gratify is that it's just, there's so many different ways that Gratify can go. But for me, Gratify, I think, will be a great tool to help children not only learn about saving for school, but then as they start to decide maybe what 2 or 3 universities or colleges that they're looking to go to, ultimately I'm looking allow Gratify to help kids plan specifically for different universities based on the tuition and based on the rate of increase that those schools are having, and then also at some point pairing the universities that these children are looking at with the actual universities themselves to help create that avenue so that those universities can start to work with those children to get them better planned and prepared to go to that college.
Listen, Jamie, this is all great stuff. We're getting close to the end here, and I just wanted to tell you, Gratify.com is a fantastic website. Everybody should check it out if you care about college savings for your kids. And again, this is Jamie Wheeler with us today on Focus Forward. And I appreciate Jamie being on the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate the message you're sharing with your readers and users as well.
This is Tom Corley with Focus Forward and Jamie Wheeler. Appreciate you being on the show today. Jamie, thank you.